Hello once again, friends, and welcome to our living room. Hello, Lobster of Revenge.
Good evening.
It is delightful to have you in chat, and I'm glad you're here, because we need chat folks for today. Because today we're going to be playing Mysterium with chat, which is always a lot of fun. Before we get there, a word about Battleground Games and Hobbies. Battleground Games and Hobbies is your friendly local game store in the greater Boston, Massachusetts area, with 3 convenient locations that are all sadly closed due to current circumstances. There is one up in Saugus on Route 1, one down in Norton by the Xfinity Center, and one in Abington, which is normally where we would be streaming from, but we're not. Because all 3 locations are closed, what Amanda and I have been doing is we've been streaming from our apartment.
Yep.
So we get to hang out with our chat, we get to play board games, and we get to still be a part of Battleground's community, even when Battleground isn't around. Lobster of Revenge, thank you so much for joining me on my stream. I have been testing out my own personal stream and doing some video game capture. Ran into some technical difficulties today, but it worked all right. The biggest problem that I had today was that I was playing VR games and got motion sick and had to stop because it didn't feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a work in progress, and that's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing today is board games.
Yup.
Because that's what Battleground is all about, is board games, card games, miniature role-playing games.
Yep.
Miniature war games and role-playing games, all those sorts of things. I have fallen far behind in my miniature construction project. I had been working on trying to build some Tau troops and haven't touched them in a couple of weeks. So I need to get back on that. Start working on those little folks again.
Yep.
And possibly do some more painting on stream in the afternoons. In the meantime...
The tricky part of this is that I'm still working.
Yeah.
And
Amanda's working full-time from the apartment.
Yeah, and working from the apartment, if it was just me doing my thing, then we could schedule things when and how we wanted. But the library is hosting virtual events, and I am one of the few people in my department to have both a relatively stable internet connection on that.
Yeah.
But like, what my boss lives in a dead zone. Her internet connection is just, it's never great. And I also have a computer that can run Zoom. And a couple of my coworkers, one of my coworkers was supposed to be running an event this morning. She did manage it, but she had to borrow her boyfriend's laptop for it because her 10-year-old MacBook Air died last night.
I mean, we're all asking our...
Yeah. We are asking a lot of our computers.
Were...
Andy and I tend to be on our computers a lot.
Yeah.
So we know what our computers can and can't handle. Whereas a lot of my coworkers are not as online as we are. And their computers were never intended for the level of use they are now getting.
I also paid this month to upgrade our internet. I upgraded to a higher bandwidth connection with higher... Well, we don't really have data caps.
Yeah,
but we got throttled. Us. Yeah, we got throttled after we hit 10 gigs, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were way over 10 gigs last month.
Because we're home all the time and using a lot of streaming stuff.
Amanda's been doing constant Zoom calls.
I'm in meetings constantly because there's this assumption that, oh, you're home. You don't have to cover a service desk. Therefore, you must be free for meetings whenever we schedule them, which is not true because the children's department is also running programs. So we have, story times that we're streaming, and we've got concerts that we're streaming, and normally my boss would be the one who would take on the responsibility of hosting a concert for a performer that we've hired from outside. She can't do that
Oh, sweetie.
She and her husband share a computer, and he is working from home, and he needs that computer, and he has to clock in and out. So that means he has to be on at 9 in the morning, and he does not finish until 5 or 6 in the evening. And he is a law librarian. He needs the tools they have on their computer. She has a Chromebook from work, but the Chromebook has a lot of limitations, and Zoom and Chromebooks apparently do not get along. Zoom is a processor hog and just needs way more processing power than a Chromebook can really handle. So we've discovered some limitations about what we can do from home. But that means that I need to be on whenever I can, because at the moment I am one of 2 people in my department who can host a Zoom meeting with the pro account that allows for a lot of people. So if we're running a children's event, it's me or this one other person, and that's it. So it has fallen to me more than the other person. So yeah, we've discovered that as an issue. We're going to have to buy a new lamp for the dining room, because I don't trust that, and I don't want an electrician in here.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing to get.
But we do need
the
to let
upshot
our
of all of
landlord
that
know
is I don't have as much time to be streaming, though I can be painting. I have no excuse not to be painting all the time, aside from the fact that I'm baking all the time. I made another 2 loaves of bread yesterday.
Yep.
And, they're good.
So I definitely noticed something. The sourdough was more sourdoughy when dipped in that soup, and it's more than it's not really to my taste as much.
But you had it as toast with a sandwich earlier today, and it was okay as toast.
That was fine, and last night with honey was fine, but I think the soup plus that bread, or maybe overnight.
Because the soup has a savory taste to it,
Yeah.
and then with the sour of the bread.
I think the sweet and stuff are cutting that sourness, whereas the acidity of the soup and everything just weren't. They were just
what I've read has
it.
said that the sourdough matures over time and gets a deeper flavor. As you know, my starter is still only a couple of weeks old.
But the bread sat overnight, so that could also do it.
That's true.
So.
Anyways.
The texture's great.
Yeah.
So good. Did the camera arm and USB hub show up?
They did indeed. They are, in fact, disinfecting in the hall.
Yeah, they're sitting in the hall for a little bit.
We will be using those. So thank you very much, Lobster of Revenge, for your assistance in making this
We greatly appreciate that.
a more technically prepared stream.
Yeah.
I feel like with the limitations of space in our living room, we've done a fairly good job.
Yeah.
Everdell was fantastic.
Everdell was
I
great.
had so much fun. We'll definitely be playing more Everdell on stream, because that was amazing. I don't know if it's playable with chat, but it. We're back, and we're on Zoom cam now.
I'm going to go plug my switch in, and I'll be right back.
Okay, Amanda's going to go plug her switch in.
So that it's charged by the time my stream is done tonight.
I'm using a different old USB hub. We think that it's the Zoom cam that's actually the source of some of these problems. It's got a short or something that is causing the computers to wig out. So, not currently frozen. What was the last thing that you heard before we froze up? If you can tell us that, and we can resume where we were. I believe we were saying that we really enjoyed playing Everdell on stream, and we're looking forward to playing that again, although we probably can't play that with chat.
No, you need cards and stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we were speculating if we could play Everdell with chat is exactly where we were. So, as soon as Amanda is done playing with her mic, I will unmute her. And there we are. So, tell us, Amanda, about Mysterium, because this was a game that you demoed until we sold out at PAX this year, and we've played this on stream before. Lobster, you're familiar with Mysterium.
We still have Everdell on the overlay?
Oh, do we?
Yeah, underneath it still says...
I updated that.
I'm reloading my page. No, it's what's under. The overlay is correct.
Yeah.
What's under the thing still says Everdell.
That's annoying, because I definitely updated that. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and fix that while Amanda talks about Mysterium.
So, Mysterium. Mysterium is a game wherein one person, that would be me in this game, is playing the ghost, and you are all playing psychic investigators who are attempting to determine who killed me. And you're doing that via visions I send you. Excuse me. Sorry, a friend of mine is...
Go live message was correct too.
Weird. Oh, Twitch. I'm sure, so there are a lot of services that have been having a time of it, trying to keep up with increased traffic and all that.
Reload the window, it should be correct now.
Yeah.
So you'll have to sit through
it actually, I already sat through the ad, and by the time the ad was done, it had fixed itself. So, anyway, as I was saying, definitely, I was trying to figure out Roll20 today, which is a D&D service, and God, Roll20 is chugging along at times. I tried to launch my demo game that I sort of put together to tinker around with it, and it made me wait. And I was like, I am the only person loading into this game, and it has no resources in it whatsoever. It has nothing. So maybe not the best. But anyway.
It's my 19-month anniversary. I'm going to share that.
Neat. Do it. Don't have me on speaker, because that's...
Yeah.
The sound quality out of your phone is not great.
Battlegrounds Arena.
So loud.
I can turn that down.
Thank you. So, the way this works, and I see you telling me that I send you visions all the time. The way this works is that the ghost has a deck of cards, and if you've played Dixit.
Yep.
These cards will be somewhat familiar in terms of their open-endedness. if you were here for our Obscurio games, it's got a similar tone to it, where one person who's moderating the game is giving vision cards to the other players, and those players are having to interpret those cards and the images on them, to figure out what direction the moderator is trying to lead you. In Obscurio, you are a group of magicians trying to escape from a cursed library, and a magical tome is giving you images to try and lead you to the right exit. In Mysterium, a ghost is trying to give you visions to lead you to a potential lineup of suspect, location, and weapon. So it's sort of like Clue, but with visions. It's also semi-cooperative. It's mostly cooperative.
Yeah.
In that I, as the ghost, really do want you to succeed. I want you to discover who killed me. However, in Mysterium, unlike Obscurio, instead of everyone getting the same exact visions and going for the same exact goal, each player has a different lineup of suspect, location, and weapon.
Right, so we each have to figure out our lineup, and then in the end game we have to figure out which lineup is correct.
Correct. So there's going to be one set of visions that is indeed correct. So I just want to double check something.
Yeah. For a 3-player game?
I'm just checking something.
Okay. So the way we're going to do this with chat is that we're going to show all the cards that Amanda gives us off on Zoom cam, which hopefully won't crash the stream again. We'll see. And we're not playing with a timer. There is a timer that comes with the game so that, you don't play forever. We don't care about that. As long as we're done by like 9:30 or so, we're happy. And it won't take us that long. It's not that long a game. We may have time for 2 playthroughs.
Yeah, maybe.
But we're going to give chat plenty of time to think about the cards they're given. And right now, I believe it's just Lobster of Revenge. If anybody else is in chat who wants to play,
Please
pipe
do
up.
Let us know.
Yep. Lobster, what color would you like to play? Your options are yellow, red, purple, blue, white, and black. Yellow, says Lobster. Okay.
Yellow.
Lobster is yellow.
Okay.
I'm going to play purple. So behind Amanda's screen, she has a lineup of the correct answers for each of us.
Yep.
And then grab out Yellow's voting tokens. Shall we play with voting?
I mean, the voting, yeah.
It gives you...
It gives you more points towards the end game.
Yeah.
So...
It moves your position on the clock at the end. So I'm going to go to Zoom Cam if it will let me. And show off the quote-unquote board. This is a game that actually has a board, so to speak, but it does have a sort of layout, which is these different tiers here. And then at the top, there's this clock, which is slightly off camera. I'll move it down. So as we play, we're going to have little markers that start on the 0, like yeah. And where's the yellow one? There it is. Like that.
I did double check that everything was here.
Excellent.
So
this was the demo copy. Yeah.
Well, it's not just the demo copy of the game. We had purchased the demo copy out of the used games.
Oh, had we? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because we sold the demo copy last year. So we didn't have a demo copy of this.
So this was a previously owned game that the store bought to use as a demo
The
copy.
store bought one of the previously owned games, one of the consignment games, at full asking price from the person who was selling it. So they got their full commission for it, their full consignment cost. But the store bought it and made it into a demo copy, which was good because during PAX East this year, we did end up playing it because I sold us out of Obscurio.
Yeah.
I sold us out of Obscurio rather early, a day and a half into the con. And then I think we had like one copy of Mysterium at the end. I want to say I didn't quite sell us out of all of it. I sold us out of most of it.
Yeah, almost all of it.
Yeah, I got close. I think there were some of the expansions left, but not like the full game maybe. All right,
so I'm going to put these over here.
You're playing
I'm purple.
Okay, purple and yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
I'm going to put these over here. Lobster, these are your voting tokens. So you can only vote yes 3 times and no 3 times over the course of the game. So keep that in mind. If I make a really stupid guess, you can say, I don't believe that, and I'll put your no token out. If I make a very astute guess, you can say, yeah, I think you're right, and we'll put your yes vote out. And then the ghost Amanda will tell us who's right. How many in a 3-player game?
Two, well, I mean, it's 2
yes,
guessers. So.
2 guessers. But how many
3
cards go out? 3 of each?
It's
so there's
one extra.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true.
Sounds right. I didn't know if in a 3-player game it was different. So you can supposedly play this 2-player. I don't even know how that would work.
It says in our 5-player game, 1 ghost and 4 psychics at medium difficulty. So it depends on the difficulty. Do we want it easy, medium, or hard?
Let's do it easy the first time.
Okay. So if we have...
Oh no. So I'm going to add something to my stream. Don't let me forget this. I'm going to add a pun counter to my stream. Lobster of Revenge in chat just said, I knew it would end in tears, in reference to the tears in the game. And that would definitely be a bing on the pun counter. I've been playing around with a chat bot on my stream, and it's getting there. It's getting there. I added a mini game today, and I don't know how well that was working because I wasn't paying a lot of attention to chat. Yes, I have a garden mini game in my stream because I'm making my stream all nature and garden themed. I have...
Right. So they're supposed to be 5.
Yeah, I have to turn down the timeout on the garden mini game. Right now you can play it once every 30 minutes, and I feel like it might be more fun for chat if they could play more frequently.
Hey, Pi! 2 games in Arena!
Ooh.
Good you! Congratulations.
And you won. Or did you win 2 out of 2 games, or did you win 2 games out of like 50 games? Either way, congrats to you. I haven't played any Arena in a while, and I need to download the update so that I can try out Ikoria. I'm really waiting for the physical cards for Ikoria.
Pi, would you like to join us? Would you like to play with us tonight?
Yeah, timeout was definitely too long on the garden game. I want to add more options to the garden game too, so I'm working on that.
I'm waiting to hear from Pi whether she wants to join us and play. Deck is still mostly cards from Ravnica and the Storytime set. Eldraine.
Yeah.
You will try? Okay. What color token would you like? We have blue, white, black, and red still available.
Blue, white, black, or red.
You don't know how to play this game?
You'll figure it out. It's not that complicated.
It's image association like Obscurio or Dixit, but with it's like Clue, but with Dixit cards.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Blue. Okay. Yeah. There is Insidious Pi is blue.
Yep.
And
All right.
shall we talk a little about flavor before we begin?
I'm really, really pleased with you guys that you all picked the 3 colors that are next to each other, so I don't have to bounce
sweet.
around on my screen, and that
makes
makes
it
me
easier
really,
for you.
really happy.
So, Pi, what is going on here is that Amanda has been murdered.
I was murdered. There's actually a story at the beginning, I think.
We are a group of psychics who have gathered on the anniversary of the murder and are receiving mystical messages from beyond the grave that will tell us who committed the murder, where, and with what. We only have 7 hours to uncover the suspect, location, and weapon before we lose our connection with the other world and are no longer able to communicate with the ghost. Amanda, the ghost, is not allowed to tell us anything. She is not allowed, actually, technically, to speak. But she has.
I will be talking throughout the game.
It's a chat. It's a stream thing. She has this screen here, which has on the back side of it, which I can't see, and hopefully you guys can't see. Yeah, I don't think they can see it. Has an array of cards. So she knows the location, suspect, and weapon.
Spoopifer looks so much better on a dark theme than a light theme.
Yeah, it's
on
true.
On a light theme, it's just his little
eyeballs.
face. All right, so in an easy game with 4 players.
Yes.
Easy game with 4 players, you get 5 objects and locations and whatnot.
Okay.
So, yeah, you guys have 2 dummies. You have 2 decoys. Even if you could see it, it's not in focus enough for me to really get use out of it anyway. We're going to hold your cards up to...
No, she's saying the inside of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will hold your cards up to the Zoom camera so that you can see the details. We'll make sure that you get to see things. So, yeah, I have your culprit cards.
So each of us, purple, blue, and yellow, have a different... Thank you. This is not going to fit as well as I had hoped.
No, you're going to have to... I think...
It's okay.
How about
I can make it work.
instead of having all of them available, you shift things so that as you get rid of dummy cards, because you're going to be gathering the cards anyway.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start with people, and when we have somebody who's able to guess locations, we'll add locations.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show each of these off on Zoom cam so that folks can see sort of the details of the cards. But these are the possible suspects. Each of us has on the back side of her screen one of these suspects as the murderer. So we have to narrow it down to the blue suspect, the yellow suspect, and the purple suspect. And let me show these off on Zoom cam. So we have this woman here. There we go. The card has a number of clocks and gears and cogs and an eyeglass there, a jeweler's loop. So the watchmaker or the clockmaker. We have the Highlander. He's got a pouch and he's got some bagpipes, some pictures, some plaid, a mustache. He is a possible suspect. We have the Barber of Seville, with his clippers and razor blade and black and white hair and brush.
Scottish Snidely Whiplash?
Yeah.
Basically.
We have possibly a maid or something? I don't know. She's very plump but angry looking. She's got a angry looking brow, but she's got a bell She's got like various containers here. Maybe she's a cook? I don't know if this is an apron. Anyways, it's not important who they are. It's important what details you notice on the card.
Leek. She must be Welsh.
Yeah. Oh, you think she's Welsh.
Kennan.
What's Welsh for leek?
Kennan.
Kennan.
Yeah.
Don't forget to do your Welsh tonight.
I forgot to do my Welsh last night.
After Lobster reminded you.
By speaking Welsh, by telling me to have a good night in Welsh. And I totally biffed it.
And we have a seamstress.
But it's okay, I had a streak freeze.
With a thimble and tape measure and buttons and thread and pin cushion. So
That's
these
the cook.
are...
Yeah, I think that is the cook.
You think that's a cook?
Yeah, she's got, like, all sorts of foods and stuff, I think.
So you ring the bell to summon the cook?
Yeah.
Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. Anyhow, these are our potential suspects. Now Amanda is going to deal each of us a card.
I get...
Pi, you missed when I told Lobster we're not playing with the timer.
Yeah.
Normally, or under some circumstances, you play with an egg timer.
So I am going to give you guys a tiny bit of story time.
Oh, sure. The cook
start.
rings the bell instead of the gong. Dinner is ready.
All right. Professor Alphonse de Belcourt in Poitiers, France. Dearest Alphonse, since I last wrote, supernatural events have been occurring at the manor on a daily basis. In the course of my investigations, I came across a few old newspaper cuttings mentioning the tragic demise of a manservant nigh 30 years ago. Although the police quickly concluded that the death was accidental, rumors about the circumstances continued to circulate. It seems the case was rushed, and I bet my last shilling that my ghost has something to do with this story. Sadly, he is unable to manifest in our world for long enough to communicate. By combining our forces, we might just be able to give him the energy he needs to deliver his message. I therefore repeat my invitation. I would be delighted if Alma, Arastir, Madame Wang, Jesselyn, and your good self could join me without delay to solve this mystery. I look forward to receiving your reply. Ever yours, I. McDowell. So there are a couple of things.
Oh, sure.
The Warwick Evening News. Tragedy at the Count of Warwick's Manor. The Count of Warwick's Manor was the scene of a terrible tragedy during the night of Thursday, December 13th. Celebrating his daughter Margaret's birthday, the Count threw a costume party for around 100 guests. At 1:30 in the morning, one of the manservants was found lying dead in as yet unclear circumstances. The police arrived at the scene 30 minutes after the body was discovered and proceeded to question the various guests. Unfortunately, initial interviews failed to shed any light on this mysterious case. The police have now issued a call for witnesses. Warwick servant case, police consider death accidental. After a 4-month investigation into the tragic events at the Count of Warwick's Manor, police have concluded that the servant's death was an accident. Since the tragedy, the circumstances of the servant's death have been the subject of considerable speculation. The case of the Warwick servant is now officially closed. Count and Countess of Warwick to leave the region. In a shocking announcement, the Count has stated his intention to permanently depart, together with wife and children, the manor that has been the family home for generations. The Count, a strong character known for his generosity and involvement in the town affairs, will be sorely missed. He explained that he and his family no longer felt at ease following the tragic events that took place at the manor 5 months ago. The house was immediately put up for sale and has already found a buyer in Clan McDowell. This wealthy family has already purchased a number of properties in the area. So, you are playing 3 different psychics.
Yes, this is Pi is blue.
Pi is blue. You are Alphonse de Belcourt.
Alphonse.
Alphonse.
There you are.
His specialty is numerology.
Ah.
His nationality is French. Alphonse was born into the French aristocracy in a family with close ties to Clan McDowell. Alphonse's brother fought and died on the battlefield at Verdun, while Alphonse was home studying for a doctorate in mathematics. Shattered by the news, he sought comfort by throwing himself into his research, in time realizing that the amazing secret properties of numbers can be harnessed by those able to interpret them. Alphonse's research into the science of numbers has enabled him to partially decipher hidden messages embedded in major texts from around the world. When he presented his thesis, his peers were unanimous. Alphonse would either revolutionize science or be ridiculed as a crackpot. He has agreed to travel to the manor out of friendship for Conrad McDowell. So it's C. McDowell. That wasn't clear.
All right.
Yellow?
Yellow is
Alma
Lobster of
Salvador. We're playing Alma Salvador. Her specialty is pendulum divination, and she is Spanish. Orphaned as a young child, Alma was taken in and brought up in a convent. She stumbled upon her gift at the age of 8 while playing with a watch chain left behind by an absent-minded visitor. She subsequently used her talents to help other orphans find their families. The nuns learned of her unorthodox activities when she was 12 and expelled her from the convent for witchcraft. Thanks to her ability to locate the soul of any human being, she is able to earn a living. She also helps the poor track down missing relatives. Her charitable nature prompted her to accept Sir Conrad's request to help save a lost soul.
I am purple.
You are Jessalyn Smith. Your specialty is tarot reading.
Of course.
And you are American.
Ah.
Almost way cooler than your dude. I mean, he's a cool mathematician. If you want to switch to Ardashir, he's Ottoman. And
So this is red is, what's her name? Wang?
Yeah, that's Madame Wang.
Madame Wang. This is white.
That is Ardashir.
And this is black.
And that is Conrad McDowell.
Oh, the man himself.
Yeah. Alma's great, you're right, though. Hi, do I need to suggest this for Yuletide next year? And get Mysterium fanfic with the psychics?
Yeah, we can definitely
really
trade
fun.
next round. Okay. So
Jessalyn, tarot reading.
Oh, yes.
American. Jessalyn was married at a very young age to a wealthy and frequently absent factory owner and is profoundly bored. At home in Rochester, New York, she would regularly read the tarot cards with friends. When one of her friends lost her young daughter to pneumonia, she decided to organize a tarot seance to make contact with the child's spirit. It was then that she discovered that she was a powerful psychic, and many Rochester citizens have since sought her help. News of her gift spread, and before long, people were coming to her from across the nation to contact dead loved ones. She quite naturally accepted Sir Conrad McDowell's request for assistance, particularly as she had always dreamed of visiting Scotland.
All right. So
yeah, you are. It just also is that they have these characters. We don't.
It's
normally,
just flavor. It doesn't really have anything to do with the game.
It doesn't actually end up mattering mechanically to the game. I just thought I would do story time.
One more detail, which I covered with Lobster very briefly before we started. Each of you has 3 upvotes and 3 downvotes that you can use throughout the game. So as we play, we're going to be making guesses as to what Amanda is trying to point us towards. You get the opportunity to use one of your upvotes or downvotes at that time. Once per round, you can vote either up or down. And if you are correct, then you move up on the clock here. And the more points you have on that clock by the end of the game, the more guesses you get in the final round. So we'll take advantage of those.
I am also limited by what I have for cards.
Yes. So the cards she gives us to guess are often, the link is obscure.
It's a
not because she's not good at image association, but because she has limited resources.
Yeah, I can only redraw my hand so frequently.
Yes, she has some rooks or ravens.
I think the normal way is that you can put them up once per round and do all 3 for an easy game. For a hard game, you don't get any redraws.
Yeah.
And for a medium game, it's like 1 per round. So
no.
I'm going to play it easy because we did go easy with the number of cards and stuff. So. All right.
So who gets their first clue?
All right. So I'm going to give this clue to... Who's playing yellow? Yellow is Lobster. This is
Yellow is
Lobster of Revenge.
Lobster of Revenge. This is your clue. If I can get it on there without any glare. So we have a lion on a flying ship with a spyglass, or a woman with a spyglass. Tell me if there's any details that you need a better view of. There's these individuals in the sand beneath the ship. So any of these could be a clue that links to one of these suspects. And if you want me to bring any of the suspects back into focus, I can do that as well. That is Lobster of Revenge's clue.
This is Pie's clue. Can you discuss? Yes. So you can definitely discuss things anytime until the final game.
Yeah, it's only during the final round that you can't discuss.
I will tell you when it is time that you cannot discuss, because you are so engrossed in your shared vision that you can't actually talk with each other at the end. But right now, one of the ways that you can use to determine whose card is whose, like which one you should go to, is by looking at each other's image cards.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, well, mine kind of points to that, but yours really points to that. And that can help you sort of eliminate something from your own.
Yeah.
So this is Pie's.
All right, this is Pie's. You have a rat knocking pieces off a chessboard, or possibly playing chess, but there's a flying chess piece behind the rat there.
Spyglass and the magnifying glass of the watchmaker granny.
So that is Pie's clue. So it sounds like Lobster. Was that Lobster saying that, or is that Pie?
That was
That's
Lobster.
So
well,
Lobster
is he actually voting, or is he...
That's his guess, but
Okay.
we'll put it there for now.
Or were you guessing, or were you just bringing up things to think about?
It's certainly an association. I could see that working. Amanda, can I see my clue?
Yes, you may.
This,
Just speculating at the moment, so yeah.
Okay.
Just speculating.
This is my clue. It is a paper airplane flying at a door, and there's sort of a ribbon here, and actually, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. There's like a book and stuff up here as well, letters and things. The thing that catches my eye on this card is the ribbon, which reminds me of the ribbon on the seamstress's card. So that's the association that I'm going to guess based on. So that's my guess.
Tape and ribbon? Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody need to see any cards again? And Pie. Oh, rat and chessboard. Here. So you can see there's several chess pieces and the rat there. Trying to do this without so much glare. But that's your clue, Pie.
Black and white chessboard and black and white hair. So
Okay.
I'm thinking of maybe the black and white hair of Sweeney Todd.
Okay. So the Demon Barber of Fleet Street for Pie.
You. Or, yeah, for Pie.
For me, I've gone with the Seamstress, and Lobster sounded like he was going for the Watchmaker.
Lobster, do you want to do that, or unless that there's cheese in the cook's picture?
Let's look at the cook's picture up close again. I didn't see anything that could be cheese. There's a leek and some potatoes maybe, and
like
a couple of jars of like jam or something.
Preserves or something.
Yeah, but I don't see any cheese. Some coins.
You'll go with Watchmaker Granny?
Okay, so now we vote. I agree with Pie, so I'm going to put an upvote on Pie's selection. I think that the chessboard and the black and white hair are
Definitely
a good
Sweeney
hit.
Todd looking dude. Okay, Pie's locked in.
All right.
And Andy has said that he thinks that she is correct.
Lobster, do you want to put any votes out?
Lobster
or Pie?
also agrees with Pie.
Okay, so I'll put a yes vote out for Lobster on Pie.
Yep.
And Pie, do you want to agree or disagree with either myself or Lobster?
You agree with both Lobster and Andy about theirs?
So which one do you feel more strongly about? Because you only have 3 upvotes for the entire game.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a couple of moments.
So is it entire game or entire round? Like you only get upvotes for like...
I've always played it game,
stage?
but I could be wrong.
Let me look at clairvoyancy tokens.
The ribbon and tape. Okay. So we'll put an upvote on my guess. So now Amanda, as soon as she's figured this rule out, is going to either move us forward to the next section or backward to indicate that we have guessed incorrectly. We have seen the folks at Loading Ready Run have played this a couple of times on their AFK streams, and they've always played that the ghost never talks but can communicate with knocks.
So you get them at the beginning of the 4th game turn.
Oh.
So you get them back after 4 turns.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like they're gone forever, but you only get 4 turns. You have to parcel them out over 4 turns.
Okay.
All right. So.
And that is the end of guessing for the first hour. So we'll move the clock forward. And Lobster gets moved back. Okay. So.
But that means that you two get your cards and points.
Everybody voted correctly, so we all move up on the vote tracker. So that's good. I'm going to scoot this out of the way because we need to make room now for locations. These votes are removed from the game for now.
Go up on the clockboard. Yeah, that happens. And also, like I said, I was limited by what I had for
Yeah.
cards.
No, it was a good guess. I
So.
almost voted yes on it. So this was pi. So what I'm doing right now, I'm taking the correct answers and sliding them into the psychics for whom they applied. So by the end of the game, we'll each have an envelope that has, well, hopefully, we'll each have an envelope that has 3 guesses in it. I guess we just automatically lose the game if we don't have all 3 lineups. So, Lobster of Revenge, you have 2 options for the next round, because we know that it's not that. Amanda, you get these back.
Yep.
And if you would care to provide us with the locations.
Yep.
Why don't I take away Watch Granny? Sure. Because we know she's
we
not
know she's
any of
not
us. Alright. Potential locations where this murder could have occurred. It could have occurred in a swimming pool, which has like some trees in the background and a life preserver and a sort of umbrella that's in kind of poor repair. So that's a potential location. We have an attic. This attic here has like a bird cage and a chest and a wedding dress on a mannequin. I feel like I have seen this room in Animal Crossing. So that's a potential location. We have a woodshed. It has, looks like a bear trap and a tire out front, a tree in the foreground, and light coming from inside the shed.
You can scooch everything down a bit to make room for the locations. Yeah. Because we don't, like, that can scooch down
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
we have a study with a deer head mounted on the wall with a couple of guns and a chessboard and a chair with some pictures in the background. Too bad we didn't get this last round, because although we got the guess on the chess correct, but that would have been helpful for Amanda. And this could be another angle on the same study, perhaps, with a writing desk, with a gorilla model, and a phonograph, and some paintings in the background, and a lamp. So yes, these are the potential locations. And Amanda is pondering to provide us with clues now.
Okay, this is for Lobster.
All right, Lobster, your clue. So very often color is an associator, but I don't see any color associations between these and that. Well, possibly. You've got an apple and a plinth, and in the background there's more plinths and a tentacle here. It's an interesting card. The apple is filled with pins and is bleeding black ooze. That's
is the clue for the person.
Very
location?
Evocative.
It's for the person because you haven't moved up to the location
yes,
yet.
so this is your clue for one of these two.
Yeah.
Now we still have clues for me and Pi.
For Pi.
For Pi, your clue is, I don't know what the orientation on this is.
You can tell because the back of the card has an orientation.
Ah, okay.
So it's like that.
Sorry. So it is a pair of boots, possibly running.
It's very glare.
Running?
You have a lot
Oh,
of glare
sorry.
on it.
Yeah. With, again, some mice or rats in the background, some skulls, and it's all very green and, well, mostly green and yellow. So, Pi, that is your clue. What is my clue? My clue is a Cthulhuid beast behind a chandelier.
It's
yeah, you're right. It's a giant tarantula or a very small chandelier. It's a tarandelier with webs and stuff in the foreground. All right. So this is where we play the image association game.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to go on with this. The background on this study picture has some mounted insects back here. I'm wondering if that relates to the tarantula. It's also similar in color palette to the card that Amanda gave me. So that's going to be my guess.
You think Pi with the green clue is for the attic?
Let me do my vote. Okay, that's my vote. Yeah, that's Lobster's guess for Pi, but Pi, you obviously get to make the determination there.
You think that's a DIY recipe if you catch enough tarantulas? You're torn between that and the woodshed?
So let's look at the woodshed and the attic and your card. So yeah, the woodshed.
Right now, I don't like my cards, so I'm redrawing.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda's doing a redraw for next. Wait.
For next turn.
But we may have different stuff for next turn. You don't know if we're gonna move on or not.
Yeah, that's true. I'll hold on to those for now. I just don't like them.
So Pi, those are your two
I know
cards.
what you're getting for next turn.
Yeah.
If you have weapons.
And there's your clue.
I'm still redrawing.
So
I know what weapons are.
Those are the two you're trying to decide between, Pi. Obviously, there's...
The apple is bleeding on the common. The apple is food?
Yes, the apple is food. That was my intuition as well. So where'd the apple go? There it is. So There's not like a lot of color reference on this to match these, although her dress is sort of pinkish, and this is all pinks and purples. But yes, the apple does say to me food, which would go with the chef. You've got a 50-50 chance, Lobster. You're gonna make it next round if you don't make it this round. The ship, lion, and desert was your clue last round. Amanda, can we see that clue again? Because it still applies to this round. Possibly... I don't know. Do you see an association to either of those? We really don't know what else she had in her hand at the time. She could have had nothing that really worked.
Which is the problem.
One strategy the ghost can definitely use is when the person is down to only one card to guess from, they can dump a card by giving it to the guesser, and it doesn't have to have any relation to the thing because they only have one option.
Can you see the little people in the lower right?
Sure. So yeah, that and this together somehow relate to one of the two remaining suspects.
No help. The apple is dead certain the cook. There's no way around it, says Pie. We'll go with the cook.
All right, so Lobster is on the cook. Mm-hmm. Pie, did you make a guess? She didn't yet. Okay, we'll wait for Pie.
You can, one thing you can do, you can guess to be on the same card as someone else. So if you think yours is something, but someone else also picked it, you can still go for it. It just means that one or both of you may be incorrect. One of you will definitely be incorrect. You may both be incorrect. But there's nothing to stop you from picking the same thing that someone else has already picked.
Oh, I see the clock has a little indicator where you get your things back. Yeah, I feel like the color palette is more green than the attic, but the attic is closest on color palette.
Keep in mind, I have no light back here.
Yeah, that's true.
So color palette is maybe not the best thing to go with, because I literally have no light back here. I am in darkness behind the screen.
No, clues shouldn't reference past clues, so the chessboard from last round should not have anything to do with this round.
Right. Not necessarily.
Yeah, I guess you could metagame it.
Yeah.
Then you pick the woodshed. Okay, Pie is picking the woodshed. I am going to...
How do you want to vote?
Are we all locked in?
The rats did make you think maybe chessboard again, but the clues... Yeah, you aren't going to necessarily reference past clues, but you may reference past parts of the same lineup.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Pie is locked in. We'll wait and see if Lobster is locked in. And if so, then we'll get to voting.
Voting time.
Okay. Lobster is locked in. So, I'm actually going to downvote Pie on this. I mean, this does look like there's trees in the background. And trees do seem to work with the woodshed. So there is definitely some association that works with that. But my first intuition, I agreed with Pie, it was maybe the attic for that card. So I'm going to downvote Pie on this, mostly just use one of my downvotes.
Anyone else want to vote?
Yeah. I love the art in these games. No vote from Lobster. Pie, do you want to vote up or down on anybody? I don't know if you can vote for yourself. I don't think you can.
No, I don't think you can. You could vote for Lobster.
All right.
You don't feel terribly strongly? Like I said, you could vote for Lobster. You seemed very sure.
And
of
we will get our
Lobster's
votes back
correct.
in round 4.
That Lobster was correct is on the cook.
That's true. You said that it was a deadlock.
You don't have to vote within the layer, like the tier that you're in. You can, then, sure, then. Yeah, you could
Pie
vote.
is upvoting Lobster.
Okay.
Lobster was correct. I was incorrect. And Pie was incorrect. All right, so my vote
You're correct.
was correct. So I move up on the vote track. And Pie's vote was correct. So Pie moves up on the vote track. Do we also move up for guessing correctly, or is it just for voting?
I think you move up for guessing correctly. Otherwise, you'd never move up.
And this goes in Lobster's envelope. I'm going to keep our old clues for the 2 things that we guessed wrong on. And scooch everything down here. Let's give Amanda a couple of moments to get a ruling here.
I think maybe it only has to do with clairvoyancy
votes?
tokens.
Okay.
It doesn't have anything. So if you're not using your clairvoyancy tokens, you're not moving up on the clairvoyancy track, in which case you will have fewer clues at the end. So, okay.
That was the end of round 2.
Yep.
We are on round 3 now.
Okay. This is for you, Andy.
For me. Okay.
It's for you.
Okay, clue number 2. So I had the tarantula last round. In this round, I have Atlantis, maybe? Or, I don't know, it's a llama and a tower and a gargoyle. There's a lot going on this card here, folks. It's some sort of blue flames and a moon. Wow. Okay. And the tarantula.
That card looks like the attic.
Oh, you're right. Yes, color palette-wise, that totally looks like the attic. Does the attic have... It doesn't have a... I mean, you could maybe expect to find a tarantula, and Amanda could be metagaming because I made a joke about Animal Crossing and she gave me a tarantula, which also is an Animal Crossing thing. I don't even know. But yes, I agree. I agree that second card has a very attic-y flavor to it. Do tarantulas live in attics? I'd expect tarantulas more in, like, woodsheds or something.
Live anywhere they want.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
true.
for Pie.
Pie. Your clue is
Or Pie says those are both things that are up near the rafters of the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Your clue is a series of floating doors or cards and a chair in a very yellow-green cloud. The chair is reminiscent of the chair in the study here. Not exactly the same. But it's an upholstered chair.
What would be the odds of having
of exactly the same chair?
Exactly the same chair on these cards?
You wouldn't get the same thing. And the palette, sort of similar-ish. This is yellows and that's browns.
Again, I will repeat.
Yeah, I know. You're very limited, and you're in the dark.
Palette is very difficult to...
What was Pie's earlier clue?
match.
Pie's earlier clue was the rats and the running shoes and the skulls.
There's an ottoman in the other study pick.
Yeah, there's this here, but I don't think that's the back of a chair. I think that's like you said. I think that's an ottoman or a footstool. So we already know Pie is definitely not here, right?
Yeah.
So do we have a clue for Lobster?
Yes, we do.
Lobster, your clue.
Skull equals the head on the wall, the rat.
Like, you think this refers to the skull? And again, the chair is possibly that chair. Is that your vote, Pie?
Pie, you think you're going to go with the study with the chessboard and the armchair?
Okay. So that is Pie's vote. Sorry, Lobster, your clue is this door and a bunch of falling fruit and a cuckoo bird coming out of the side of, I don't even know what that is, like a castle growing out of a tree trunk. Again, this is a card with a lot going on, and the sort of red carpets coming down from the door. Wow. There's some stuff on that card. So, Lobster, does this card in any way remind you of any of these locations? I mean, the shape of the door is the shape of this chair here. And there's several other doors, or there's two other doors that have that same shape. But that may have nothing to do with what Amanda's trying to communicate. She is
One
very
never
limited
knows.
in what she has.
I'm taking...
Yeah, those are used up clues.
Yep. Doesn't evoke pool. Doesn't evoke woodshed. Doesn't evoke pool.
Okay. So that leaves you with this study, and the attic. You could vote the same way Pie did.
Any red carpets anywhere?
Not that I can see. Again, there's the red back of this chair. It's a tricky game.
Door same shape as chest in attic?
Yes. So there's the chest and there's the door. So yes, that could also be where she's trying to lead you. Looking to see if there's any rolled up rugs in the attic. The version of the card that she has for reference is, I believe, smaller than the version that we have.
Yeah, they are this big.
So some of the smaller details on the cards she might not be able to see.
Many of the smaller details I can't see. You're going with attic?
Attic for Lobster.
All right.
Voting time.
Time to vote.
I mean, I feel like I have to use my votes. I don't feel super confident. I'm gonna...
And this is why they have arrows, so you can point to who you think is correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna upvote Pie in her study guess. Do either of you want to use a vote? And if so, for whom do you vote? And do you vote yes or
You
no?
vote no on Andy?
Okay, so Lobster is downvoting me in the attic here. Pie, do you have a vote?
One of you is definitely the attic, but you have no idea which one.
It's tricky. It's a tricky game. No vote from Pie. Okay.
Okay.
So, Pie was correct. It was the study. I was correct. It was the attic. And Lobster. So Lobster's vote was incorrect because he voted no on me. My vote was correct because I voted yes on Pie. So I move up.
And those of you who were correct, get your cards.
Yes, so this was Pie's. Pie is blue.
It's blue, yep.
And this was mine.
Yep.
Well, let's spread these out. So Lobster, you know you are one of these three. We didn't eliminate one for you that round because we had both voted on the same thing. And now we're going to get some murder weapons.
Yeah.
At the end of this round, we get all of our vote tokens back. Because we are on round 4. Or, yeah, this is the start of round 4. All right. Was the murder committed with an iron? Or was the murder committed with a rope? Or was the murder committed with a stool? Or was the murder committed with a fork? Fork them right to death. Or was the murder committed with a pan? Amanda doesn't sound super happy with her clues.
Not
oh, she's
happy.
redrawing. Yes, if you've got the iron, you should have a thimble, a battleship, a shoe, a purse. What were the other Monopoly tokens in the original Monopoly? The race car. A wheelbarrow and a dog. Yes, thank you, Pie. I think that's all of them. I feel like I was usually the shoe. I want to say my sister, Molly, was usually the race car. I don't think that I have ever finished a game of Monopoly.
It's supposed to. Okay.
Okay, she's got clues for us.
This
All right.
is for Lobster.
Hang on, I'm getting rid of my clues and Pie's clues. Lobster, your clue, which pertains to one of these and also works with this clue, is some implements hanging on a wall. There's a scythe. Can you see this? I don't know how much glare we've got there. Scythe. There's a whip, like Indiana Jones, and there's a saw. Monopoloo. Thermopoline. So Pie says that she was president of her college's board game club and nobody ever played Monopoly.
No.
Yesterday I was wearing my No Not Like Monopoly shirt, which was a Christmas present, I believe from Lobster. I can't remember. It was a Secret Santa and I can't remember who actually got me, but I think it was Lobster. I love that shirt. It is so appropriate for my work.
It is.
Yeah, I agree, Lobster. You think that the implements of death here remind you of the shed? They remind me of the shed too. I'm going to upvote you on that right now. That seems like a really good card for the shed. Amanda.
Yeah.
Next clue.
Next clue is going to be for...
How does Tower Bird Red Carpet not suggest the shed?
Or suggest the shed?
Oh.
Pie says it was a building.
I guess. Yeah. We can ask Amanda when the game's over.
Yeah.
So, whose is this?
That is for you.
For me,
Yeah.
I have a palette made of flowers and brushes made of reeds or vines or something. That's a gorgeous card. Oh man, I wonder how they commission the art for this. Like, do they just tell people draw something random?
Yeah.
Or do they give them any sort of a brief on what to draw?
It's so hard.
Wow. Okay. So, art supplies, right? But my options are a fork, a pan, an iron, a rope, and a stool. I'm going to hold off until we see Pie's clue.
It's Pie's clue.
Pie, your clue is Howl's Moving Castle. It is a bug tank steampunk thing climbing across rooftops. It's an evocative card.
Windmill slam iron.
Yeah, I agree. I already used my upvote, but I agree with Pie on that. So now I have to make a decision.
Steam iron?
Yeah. Steampunk, steam iron. Although, could also be the pan. The pan is metal, and the thing is metal. But I agree with Pie. I think that iron is the best way to go. As far as art supplies made from flowers, I feel like Amanda kind of had to dump and just chose the closest to the best thing she could for me. I'm going to guess rope, because, I don't know, brushes and ropes.
Because it might be used as a paint palette. You think yours is the pan, Andy, says Pie. Palette is flat like the stool, says Lobster of Revenge.
Yeah, that's true. I actually go with Lobster there. The stool is wood, and that's the closest thing to plant matter, aside from the rope. The rope could be made from hemp. Yeah, I changed my vote.
Point, Lobster.
I go for stool.
Everyone locked in?
I'm locked in. Are you folks locked in?
Does anyone want to vote? Upvote, downvote?
I only have downvotes left. I'm going to downvote Pie, not because I think she's wrong, but because I need to use up my votes. And do we get them back at the end of this next round or at the beginning of round 4?
I think you get them at the beginning. No, maybe end.
But anyways, I want to use up all my votes because I'm going to get them back. Lobster upvotes Pie on iron. And Pie is going to upvote Lobster. All right. I think our votes are locked in.
All right.
All right, Amanda, the ghost. Ah. Ooh, good call, Lobster of Revenge. Oh, no. Oh, well, I guess I voted correctly in downvoting her, even though I thought she was right. So I move up. Pie does not.
And both of those were correct.
Yes, so Pie moves up. Okay. We've used up a whole lot of our votes. Did you find out if it was the beginning or the
Andy,
end?
take your weapon.
Oh, yes. I was the stool.
Yes.
So my voting is done. I don't get any more
to give that
clues.
to Lobster.
Thank you.
All right.
So this I don't need any longer.
Mm-hmm. And
we still have Pie's clue. We're making progress, folks. That was the end of round 3, so we are on to round 4. Did we get our votes back now or later?
Oh, sorry. At the start of the 4th game turn.
Aha! So we get all our votes back.
Pie, you're going to get another clue, so hopefully I'll have something to give you. Let's see. What happened to that card? I had a card, and I don't know what happened to it. I had it in reserve. At the start of the 4th game turn. Aha! So we get all our votes back. Pie, you're going to get another clue, so hopefully I'll have something to give you. What happened to that card? I had it in reserve. I don't know what happened to it. I had it in reserve.
I really enjoy this game. I'm glad you suggested it, Amanda, and I'm glad that I grabbed it from the store before
Everything shut down.
everything shut down.
Where is that card? What did I do with it?
You put all your discarded cards over there.
Well,
if it's
no,
one that,
these are ones that I've given you.
I just didn't know if you had put the
No.
card. Okay.
Because I've
Accidentally.
been very specific about how I put them.
Okay.
You think the iron monster is more like the cast iron frying pan?
Could be. Could be. We'll see what she gets as her second clue.
Yes. Alright. Andy gets no more cards because he has accomplished his vision.
Yes, I am all the way to the end game now.
Alright, this one is for Pi.
All right, Pi, you get a wheel with pedals on a wooden path with a bridge in the background and some birds and a light source, mysterious light source in the sky, and a wandering, there's like 3 different roads. This is, again, a lot going on here. But that's your clue, Pi. Remember, you also have the
Cast iron pie then
the
because
bug thing.
circular bike wheel.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think cast iron pan feels right there.
And that is for Lobster.
Lobster, you get a chair on a tightrope with a snake charmer below and some, are those birds? Birds and a floating
It doesn't say fork to
candelabra.
you.
I mean, A, there's the color of the fork. The fork card is the only red card. And B, there's this candelabra in the background that kind of could be a fork. I feel like fork is a good way to go for that card.
Snake is like the road
Like the
or
rope. The snake
Sinuous
is like the
roads
rope.
are like the rope.
Yeah.
Snake is like the road.
So you can't, just to be clear, something moved. Oh, we've got sound back. Now let's see if I can get the zoom cam back. Give it a couple secs. Zoom cam. Sorry, folks. We're back. We're back.
It's definitely the zoom cam that is having some problems. I think what it's doing is it's like resetting itself, and that is freezing up everything up.
Yeah. All right. So Lobster was voting fork. I think that's where we're at.
Some tape on the zoom cam. Tape is not gonna help.
I'm gonna
Tape is not the issue.
I'm gonna upvote Lobster on fork.
I think the camera itself is like trying to reset itself, and that's sending a signal to the tape. Always helps. I don't think it will help in this particular case.
Maybe WD-40.
I don't think that's going to help either.
Oh, okay. So
All
we've
right.
got a vote from me and a vote from Pi. Lobster, do you want to vote up or down on Pi? Percussive therapy,
Yeah.
always helpful. I mean, to be fair, this Zoom cam has worked pretty well for 3 years now.
Yeah, it's not a new camera. You want to
Lobster
upvote pie?
upvotes pie.
All right.
All right, Ghost.
Oh, Andy. After this, woo, hey. You got yours the last round, right?
Yes.
So you're going to add to your clairvoyance the number of hours that were left after the last round.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That helps a great deal.
So how fast you do it moves
Yeah.
you up on the track. You just don't move up on the track until you've accomplished things. All right.
So pie gets 3 hours. Lobster upvoted pie, so Lobster moves up 1. And I believe that's everything?
Yep.
Okay, these go away. And
Lobster gets one last clue.
yes, Lobster, another clue for you. Lobster, your last clue, and we know it's not the fork, and we know it's not the pan, because the pan was pie. Your last clue, Lobster, is some antlers over a rope with some yarn and some dinner plates. Does that say rope or does it say iron? Remembering that this also was your clue.
Red string, says pie.
Yeah, but there's not really... Oh, the string. You mean the rope? I feel like it could well be rope, because we almost went rope on this clue because of the snake. Rope backed up by snake, says Lobster. If you're locked in, I'm going to upvote that, because I agree with that.
Pie, do you want to upvote that? Or downvote it? What do you think?
Oh, we're in hour 5 now.
You'll upvote as well, says pie.
Okay.
So you'll each get to increase 1 on the track if you're right.
All right.
And you are right.
Aha. So pie gets 1 more. I get 1 more. And Lobster gets 2 more, going up to 5. All right. So this goes in Lobster's envelope. And now we get the final lineups. While Amanda draws her last set of cards. So the way we are supposed to do the final lineup is we're supposed to flip over our psychic cards, and they each have a number on our tokens each have a number on the back of them, and we're supposed to vote in secret which number we believe is correct.
Let me read up on the end game.
Okay.
So we're going to take these out.
Yep. I'm going to just clear most of the board away.
Yeah, clear anything away that doesn't need to be out.
So my suggestion is that once you guys have a vote, this time we are not allowed to discuss.
Yeah, this is you're no longer conversing.
However, each of us gets to see a different number of cards. I am going to get to see all 3 cards in the lineup before I vote. Mm-hmm. You guys only get to see 2 cards in the lineup before you vote, or 2 clues. So the lineups are, was it what the chef in the woodshed with the rope? That is yellow, which is Lobster of Revenge. Was it Pie's lineup, which is the barber in the study with the pan? Or was it my lineup, Can I scooch this all the way over here? I just want to get everything on camera if I can. My lineup was the seamstress in the attic with the stool. She must have really clobbered that fella. So if you're playing in person with people, the way this would work is each of these lineups has a number associated with it, and the number is on the back of these little counters, these little tokens. So the purple lineup is lineup number 1. The blue lineup is lineup number 3. And the yellow lineup is lineup number 2. So we would each take our vote counters, in secret choose one after we've seen the clues.
Yep.
And put that one in our envelope.
But you don't get to see all the clues.
Right, so we're going to see 2 clues.
Yep.
Then you 2 have to vote. And what I'm going to say is just whisper to Amanda your vote once you've got your vote. And then I'll see the 3rd clue and I'll make my vote. And once we've all voted, I believe we have to be unanimous to win?
I think it's majority.
Majority, okay. So as long as 2 of us are correct, we win the game. Push them all over further, or I could just move the camera.
If one of the groups has received more votes than the others, it is chosen as the suspected culprit's group. If no single group has a clear majority, the tie is broken in favor of the group chosen by the player who progressed furthest. If the group chosen by the psychics contains the true culprit, all players win the game together and the ghost spirit is laid to rest.
Alright, so what we'll do is just after you've seen your 2 clues, whisper to Amanda yellow, blue, or purple.
Yep.
And then she will know which one you have voted for. Or we could do numbers if you'd rather do numbers.
How do you whisper when I'm not online?
Are you not online?
I'm online.
Just say something in chat and then they can right click on your name in chat and
I am definitely online.
whisper to you.
I'm here. So here's the thing. You're going to get these in a random order. So you don't know which
goes with which card.
Yeah. The first shared vision card is revealed, and whoever only gets 1 vision
which is anybody who had 0 through 4 points.
Right.
On the
So you're all going to get at least 2 cards, but Andy gets all 3. So, all right.
First clue. Oh, this is all 3 clues. So I'm going to be careful not to reveal the 3rd clue. We have, and remember, we can't discuss. So I'm not going to, if you need to see any portion of the card in greater detail, like I can bring it up here and just sort of pan
and like I
down
said,
the
they're
card,
not
maybe.
in necessarily in order.
Yeah.
So this card is not necessarily to the culprit. It may be to the weapon. It may be to the location. It may be to the suspect.
Yeah.
We don't know. I shuffled them.
Yeah. So that was the first clue. Second clue.
So you sort of have to take them as a group.
I'm going to zoom in on this and just sort of pan slowly down so you can see some details there. Now, given those 2 clues that you've gotten so far, make a guess on the lineup. And then I get 1 more clue. So just tell me once you have both whispered to Amanda.
Yeah, whisper to me.
Whisper to Merriman Lion in chat.
Can you see the
Clue 1?
Clue 1 again?
This is clue 1.
Yes.
trying to not have as much glare, but show off as much of the card as I possibly can. Okay. So that's clue 1. And this was clue 2. Amanda, how many cards did you have to select from? 5?
7.
7. Okay. So once you folks have both made your votes, I get to see clue 3.
Okay, I know. I'm going to use my ravens to... Okay. Pi has voted.
Okay.
And Lobster is voting. All right.
Okay. Clue number 3. And won't this be annoying if this is the clue that makes it obvious? You see this and you're like, oh my god, it has to be that.
Josses everything.
That's clue number 3. It's another one of those where there's a lot going on that card.
Yeah. So
All
Andy,
right.
you're the only one left to vote.
I know. See, I know what one of these clues really makes me go towards. Which means, okay, I'm going to place my vote.
Okay.
I'm going to vote yellow. So
Okay.
my vote is yellow. My vote is it was the cook in the woodshed with the rope. Here is the actual lineup. It was the cook in the woodshed with the rope. Did either of the other 2 people vote for that lineup?
Both of them.
We all agreed it was the cook in the woodshed with the rope. We win the game.
Yay! I can rest. Got there. Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. As soon as I saw the bear trap on here, I was like,
so
that
happy
has
to
to
see that
be
bear trap.
the
Bear
woodshed.
trap. And then I also lucked out because there was a card with rope on it.
Yeah, the rope, which was my 3rd clue.
The cook was the hardest. I was like, well, that's sort of a pinkish dress.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I was like, this could be the seamstress. It's got buttons
Yeah.
popping off. It could easily be the seamstress. But nothing else on the cards indicated that lineup.
So I'm going to give you some reasoning for some
Okay.
of my cards.
Yeah. Because we had some questions.
So I'm going to move this so that I'm not like sitting in the dark because because I'm basically shadowing myself
Oh,
from the
yeah.
light at that point, which is why it's so dark over here, Andy. Just imagine this is sitting like here for you and there's
Yeah.
no light whatsoever. It's so dark. So, okay, Lobster, you were indeed correct in that. I was trying to imply that the snake was the
snake.
rope.
Yeah.
And then I drew this card that had the thread. But I knew that the red might lead you in the wrong direction towards the fork, but I had nothing else that was even remotely indicative of rope. So, let's see. This was for the attic.
Yeah.
And the color scheme, I could not really tell what the color scheme was in the dark, so this threw you off considerably. I lucked out into drawing this the next round. This, I was trying to go for this sort of white fabric that was down here.
Okay. So the webbing at the bottom was like the...
It was the best I could do for the dress.
Yeah.
Get the ghost a flashlight next time, yeah.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
So this one here, the chair was definitely implying the chair in the study. And I was trying to go for like a hunter hunting animals sort of deal.
But yeah,
for that.
Pi guessed that the skulls had to do with the antlers
Yep.
on the wall.
Let's see. This was an easy one.
Yeah, we all got that one immediately.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
That was simple. That was definitely supposed to be the measuring tape.
Yes. Yep. I got that.
Yep.
We think similarly.
We are married. And these two, the cook was really hard my first round. The best I could
Lobster, that's your second pun today. Pun count goes to 2.
The best I could do was like a dress with a hat on. That was the best I could do. And then I was really annoyed that I used this when I realized that I didn't have it to use for that card the next round to hand to you because it was a white dress.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have saved it. But I had nothing else to hand you. So then food was the best I could do.
Got there.
We did. All right. That was definitely the stool. And I was going for a flat wooden surface.
Yep.
And then the tower. So I don't know how well it comes across on the Zoom cam, but the tower actually turns into a tree at the top.
Yeah.
And it was the only card I had that had a door in it at all. And so I was going for the door of the woodshed because the woodshed was the only card that had an external door on it.
Gotcha.
And it had a bunch of tree branches in the area. And then I drew these weapons on a wooden wall, and I was like, well, I'll hope that's close enough given the other options. So, yeah.
So I know I said earlier that I thought we had time to play that game twice.
No.
Because we're playing with chat, it goes a little bit slower.
Yeah, we have to wait for people to respond.
And I don't mind. I had a lot of fun, and I'm so glad you folks were in chat to play with us because I love any time that we get to play games with chat. I wish we got to do that more on our stream, to spend more time with our chat
the hat
friends.
on the card is hard to make out. It's just, when you look at like some of the other cards that I had, it's like, can we go to Zoom for a second?
I unplugged
you
soon.
unplugged it?
Yeah.
When you look at some of the other artwork cards,
I have overhead if you want to.
yeah, let's go to overhead. So I want to show you some of the cards that I had throughout the course of the game that I was like, things I didn't use.
So yeah, you have these cards and you're like, how does this relate to anything that's on the board?
Or sometimes you have a card that might be really good for one thing. I discarded this at one point because I needed to discard. I had nothing good in my hand. And then I was like, oh, I could have used that for the cook in the last round. Oh well.
Did you know that the cook was the correct thing at the beginning?
No.
You don't find out which lineup is correct until the last round?
That was why I was jostling these. Was I lined them up 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's right. And you're supposed to put one out here
and
face down, and that's the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I picked randomly one and was like, okay, well, it's lineup number 2 because that's where it was in the order. Sometimes the cards that you have, will mislead people horribly.
Yeah.
So you don't use them, not because they aren't good, but because you know that they're going to lead someone in the wrong direction because they'll focus on something other than the thing you want them to focus on. So you have to go with like your second best card. Like a lot of these did not point to anything. Yeah, this game does have a great box.
Yeah, I can actually show that off since we're on overhead cam now.
It is a super good box. And I am going to be
it's got
putting the cards back together, the decks back together. So like I said, we did get this as a used game, and the interior was a mess.
These are hint cards. Or those are...
they're ghost
psychic
cards.
clues, yeah.
Whoever had put these together had put their game back together. This goes in one of the lower depressions. They had just thrown things into the box. All the little vote tokens were under the vacuform.
Oh wow!
Because I thought they were missing. I was like, oh man, it's missing a bunch of pieces. The form that they entered in when they entered in what they were selling to the store, The form said it wasn't missing any pieces, but it's missing a bunch of pieces.
So this is
No,
the
it
box
actually wasn't missing
with,
pieces. It was just out of order.
with a place for the timer. It's got a place for each of the player globes, as well as their vote tokens. There's enough space for the tokens and their place marker for the arch. The clock, which we had laid down just on the table, and it
so
actually
you can
works
see it.
better that way.
Yeah, otherwise
but it comes
tends
with
to
a
fall.
stand, so that you can stand the clock up.
And it actually has a place for all of your vote tokens to be sitting, and then you'll get them back after a while.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's got spaces for all the cards to go in here. I do love any game that has vacuum plastic tray to hold the pieces. Just makes it easier. Put it all away.
But yeah, none of the cards are in order. Nothing's in order at all in the box. So I'm trying to fix that as I go. When I did demos of this at PAX East, I created a lineup much like I did for
You seeded it.
Stereo.
Yeah.
I seeded it. I set it up so that it would have some ambiguity, but also a fair amount that was like pretty clear.
These don't actually fit.
No, they fit in one of them. Hold on. They have to go the right way because they're actually rectangular.
No, there we go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
they're not square. They look like they might be square, but they're not actually square.
Not completely square. So what Amanda's doing right now is sorting the cards. The cards are numbered in the corners.
And they match up to the cards numbers on the ghost cards so that the ghost can have the lineup. So actually, Andy, if you want to show the interior, I still have lineups from the players because I set up all 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that,
We didn't know how many people would be in chat.
Yeah, I had no idea, so I figured. But this is what I'm seeing.
So she has this board here where each color has a lineup, a person, place, and thing. So she has to lead each player to those pieces on the board. And we played that on easy mode.
Yes.
Which was fewer wrong guesses in the lineup.
Yeah.
And more redraws for the ghost.
Yeah.
If you're playing on hard mode,
Basically, I get one redraw per turn as opposed to per round.
mhm,
And then there's also, I think the hard mode is no redraws. You just go with what you got.
that would make it hard.
Yes, it would.
Here's the other locations.
Oh, thank you. I was like, where's card 20? 4, 7, 28, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. And then the weapon cards are little, and I don't know why they're so tiny compared to the rest of the cards.
Yeah.
They're really small.
Amanda,
Yeah.
do you want to do a quick dark story?
Sure, we could do a quick dark stories. They're
'Cause-
over there. Give me a moment.
Yeah. It is 9:20, and we probably want to be wrapping up around 9:40
Yeah.
so that you can set up for your stream, where you're going to be reading the beginning of chapter 4
I'm gonna let
of
people-
Lioness Rampant. Bless you.
Excuse me. I'm gonna let people tell me whether they want me to go all the way through and do all 50 pages. I will have to do a very fast summary.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, they are like sorted by where they go in order. So
Okay,
54,
yeah.
53. So these are all weapons, like all the 50s and
Yeah.
40s are weapons, basically. 47,
While you do that, I'm going to go grab Dark Stories.
46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39,
We'll save
38,
true
37,
crime
36.
Dark Stories for the next time Jen is in chat.
Yeah, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Huh.
I'm missing a card.
Nope. It was just hiding. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
That's not going to fit there. Give me a second.
Sure, sure.
Because these have got to go somewhere else then. No. There they go.
Okay, perfect.
Like, it looks like there should be cards there,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's supposed to go there.
Okay. Close enough.
Yeah, good enough.
And the instructions. Awesome. So that was Mysterium, which we always enjoy.
Yeah, I'll trim the summary. It's that I do have a couple of friends that haven't read these books.
And haven't tuned in for
and haven't tuned in. Writing it up and tossing it in the chat is not a bad idea. I may quickly do
But
that.
do you have time to do that in like 20 minutes?
Probably.
Okay. All right. Dark Stories 1 or Dark Stories 2?
Let's do 1.
Okay.
Okay. No, this is Real Crime.
Oh.
You grabbed Real Crime instead of...
After saying specifically that I was not getting Real Crime. Here.
Okay. And we did that one.
Some of them are kind of goofy.
Oh, I like that one. Okay, we're going to do that. New shoes. Marie went to the store and bought new shoes. Later that evening, she died because of her purchase.
Oh. Okay. Were the shoes faulty?
No.
Okay. Did they make her dance until she died?
No.
Okay.
We're not magic shoes.
Well, I didn't ask if they were magic.
They're not magic shoes, Andy.
These
don't tend to have like supernatural
No, it's true.
stuff in them.
Were they
Was she
ruby
wearing the
slippers?
shoes when she died? She was wearing the shoes when she died. Yes, they were not ruby slippers. No. Seriously, Andy, these are not fairy tales or like there's nothing magic in these stories
I
in
know.
general. So
I was
she
just
died because
doing a bit.
because of her purchase.
Yes. Was her death an accident?
Yes.
Okay. So the card, I don't know if you folks can see this from that distance. Let me see if I can show it off overhead cam. The illustration for the card shows angles. Shows high heel shoes. So, was she fleeing from a pursuer and tripped because of her impractical shoes?
No. There was a black widow spider in the box with the shoes? No. Did she die because of the shoes themselves?
It's a good question, Pi.
The shoes were instrumental in her death. High heels, she tripped and broke her skull? No.
Marie went to the store and bought new shoes. Later that evening, she died because of that purchase. Was there something toxic about the shoes?
No. If she had purchased the shoes but not worn them, would she still have died? No.
So the shoes contributed to her death.
Yes, they did.
Not the purchase necessarily.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
They were non-toxic, and she was not fleeing and fell. Were they the right size?
Yes.
Okay. Were they ice skates?
The shoes made her taller, and she hit her head on a light fixture and got electrocuted.
That's very specific.
Yeah, that's all. There's a whole lot there, and I would recommend breaking it down instead of giving me an enormous
Pi says,
long thing.
was she able to walk effectively in them?
Yes.
Did she die due to her height?
Yes.
Aha, so Pi is on, Lobster is on the right track. So we just need to narrow this down.
He tried to get too specific in one sentence. Was it because the shoes made her taller? Yes, it was.
Were there shots that would have missed her if she wasn't taller?
No.
Was she shot?
No.
Okay.
There
you go.
There was an assumption there that
Yeah.
I didn't want to lead you astray on.
What are ways that you can die by being tall, chat? Like a couple inches taller. Was there a spinning fan blade?
No.
Did she brain herself on a beam?
No.
Did she die due to blunt force trauma?
No.
Uh,
Helicopter. No, she wasn't that tall. Was she mistaken for someone else because she was taller? No.
I think we need to be more specific about her death, chat. Like how does being tall lead to death? Was there something down low that she would have been able to reach if she had not been wearing her shoes?
No.
They're not that tall.
Did she starve to death? No. Did she die of suffocation? No.
She was so tall in her shoes that she asphyxiated.
It's just so up in the atmosphere that she died of oxygen deprivation. No, she was not that tall.
Carbon monoxide sinks, so... was she struck in the head?
No.
She wasn't shot. Was she strangled?
No.
Was she struck anywhere, says Lobster of Revenge.
Be more specific.
She had to pause for
struck.
that.
What do you mean by that? Was she bitten? No, she was not bitten. Struck is a fairly general term, and we already determined that there was no blunt force trauma. So I will say yes, but no blunt force trauma. So you're going to have to figure out what that means.
Was her head sliced?
Be more thorough in how you're phrasing that, please.
Well, I'm trying to determine the type, the nature of the injury.
Headed, or you mean like was she cut? Like
was she cut?
She was cut.
Okay. Did she die of exsanguination?
Yes.
Did she faint as a result of her injuries?
Did she die of a stab? Yes, she did.
Was she a magician's assistant?
Not a magician's assistant. I wouldn't say magician.
Okay. Was it a knife-throwing act?
Yes, it was.
There we go. We got there. So she bought new shoes, and the knife thrower didn't realize she was a couple inches taller.
Yeah.
And struck her in the head with a thrown knife.
Marie was the wife and assistant of a knife thrower. The shoes she purchased had higher heels than her old one. As her husband was blindfolded, he could not see the vertical difference and threw the knife at the usual height.
That's tragic.
I know, right? It was a good one.
It was a good one.
As far as dark stories go, it was a good one.
Yeah, the next way I was going to go before we determined that height was a factor was if they were like roller skates or snowshoes or some other type of specialized shoe. Ice skates, that sort of thing. But no, that was good. Good job, chat. We got there in the end. I think we're going to call it there. Gives Amanda a little less than half an hour to write up her summary and prepare for her stream. So thank you so much for joining us. Pi, quick question for you. You had mentioned that perhaps you were going to change your Jackbox stream to Saturday. Have you decided to do your Jackbox stream tomorrow, or are you still doing it on Sunday? Wait for Pi to reply to that, because that's going to determine my own plans as well. Not this weekend. Okay, so I'm going to try to stream some tomorrow from my Switch. I think I'll either play Animal Crossing or perhaps Final Fantasy VII OG. I don't have the new Final Fantasy VII, but I have the old Final Fantasy VII. There will be Pi Jackbox, just not until Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Work meeting on Saturday, so yeah. Okay. Thank you, Pi. So I will perhaps be streaming tomorrow afternoon. And Pi, I will talk to you on Sunday for D&D, hopefully this weekend. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will tune in for Amanda's Storytime stream in a little less than half an hour. For now, goodbye everybody. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. I love these get to hang out with our friends and play games, even though we're isolated in our apartment. I think these are a valuable thing to do. So it was good seeing you folks virtually.
Yes.
In the internet. And we'll see you again very, very soon. Bye all.